The Black Sea just witnessed a military first. Ukraine struck a Russian Kilo-class submarine in its own port, using an unmanned underwater drone. This wasn't a missile or torpedo from a warship, but a homegrown Sea Baby drone, marking a new era in naval warfare. For the first time, a submarine, designed for stealth, was hit by a cheap, remote-controlled weapon in what should have been a safe harbor. The attack happened in Novorossiysk, a port Russia considered secure after moving its fleet from embattled Sevastopol. Now, nowhere is safe for Putin's navy. Submarines, once the apex predators of the sea, are now vulnerable to small, innovative tech. This strike isn't just symbolic, it's a tactical revolution, showing Ukraine can threaten Russia's most advanced assets. Unlike last year's missile strike on a dry-docked sub, this was a Ukrainian-made drone hitting a submerged target, proving Ukraine's defense industry can innovate under fire. The message is clear. Unmanned systems are now frontline combatants, and Ukraine is rewriting the rules of naval power. Russia's naval dominance in the Black Sea is no longer assured. The Kilo-class submarine, known as a black hole for its stealth, is a key Russian weapon, capable of launching Kalibr missiles that have devastated Ukrainian cities. Damaging one is a direct blow to Russia's ability to strike deep into Ukraine. Each Kilo-class sub costs hundreds of millions. Losing one is a financial and psychological hit for Moscow. Submarines are supposed to be untouchable. This attack shatters that myth. The Sea Baby drone targeted the stern, crippling the sub's propeller and steering, making repairs slow and costly. Even if not sunk, a disabled sub is out of action for months, maybe longer. Russia moved its fleet to Novorossiysk for safety. Now, even that port is vulnerable. Russian sailors now note no harbor is safe. And every vessel is a potential target. The psychological impact is huge. Constant fear, no sanctuary. Ukraine's drone fleet has turned every Russian port into a potential kill zone. This forces Russia to rethink its entire Black Sea strategy. The balance of naval power is shifting. Ukraine's innovation is leveling the playing field. Russia's response was frantic, sinking its own barges to block the harbor and building floating barriers to stop more drones. But these defenses trapped their own ships, turning Novorossiysk into a cage. Moscow denied any damage, releasing video that conveniently hid the sub's stern, the likely point of impact. This is classic Kremlin spin: deny, distract, and hope no one notices. But in the age of satellite imagery, such denials fall flat. The desperate measures and clumsy propaganda reveal panic at the top. Sinking your own ships is a last resort, a sign of lost control. Ukraine didn't just damage a sub, it forced Russia into self-defeating moves and exposed the hollowness of its official narrative. The psychological and strategic blow is undeniable. The submarine strike was just one part of Ukraine's coordinated campaign to cripple Russia's war machine. In Crimea, Ukraine hit advanced radar systems and air defenses, blinding Russian forces and making future strikes easier. A MiG-31 fighter was also damaged, showing Ukraine can hit high-value targets deep behind enemy lines. Each attack erodes Russia's ability to defend and resupply. Ukraine also targeted Russia's energy infrastructure, fuel trains, a tanker, and the Slavonsky refinery, disrupting military logistics and slashing oil revenues. The price of Russian oil from Novorossiysk plummeted, hitting Moscow's war chest. Ukraine's strategy is asymmetric strike where Russia is weak, force it to stretch defenses thin. By hitting radars, air defenses, and fuel, Ukraine is waging economic and logistical war far beyond the front lines. It's a smart, relentless campaign that's changing the conflict's dynamics. On land, the war remains brutal and fluid. In Kharkiv province, Ukraine pushed back Russian advances near Kupiansk, threatening to cut off Russian supply lines, a rare defensive victory. But in Donetsk, especially around Pokrovsk, Russia grinds forward, gaining ground at high cost. Severodonetsk is nearly lost to Russia, a symbolic and tactical setback for Ukraine. The fall would let Russia consolidate gains and pressure other fronts. Meanwhile, Russia unleashed nearly 1,000 missile and drone strikes in a week, trying to overwhelm Ukraine's defenses. Despite naval successes, Ukraine faces a relentless, punishing fight on the ground. Facing setbacks, Putin has doubled down on aggressive rhetoric, calling European leaders swine and vowing to achieve his maximalist war aims. He publicly rejects any real negotiations, insisting on Ukraine's total surrender. Western intelligence sees his talk of diplomacy as a stalling tactic, meant to divide Ukraine's allies and buy time. For Moscow, negotiations are just another weapon, not a path to peace. Any ceasefire would be used to regroup and attack again. Genuine peace would require Russia to admit failure, something the Kremlin won't accept. Putin's words are hollow. His actions show he's committed to war, not compromise. As the war drags on, Europe faces a crucial choice: what to do with over 200 billion euros in frozen Russian assets. The leading plan is to use these assets as collateral for a massive loan to fund Ukraine's defense through 2027. Belgium, where much of the money is held, fears legal backlash if Russia sues. The debate pits Ukraine's survival against European legal worries. Leaders warn give money now, or face more bloodshed later. With US focus shifting elsewhere, Europe must take responsibility for its own security. Unlocking these assets would send a clear message: Europe is united and ready to make Russia pay for its aggression. The financial front may decide the war's outcome as much as the battlefield.